Mini retirements. You guys know what mini retirements are?
This is what people that don't want to have a job say
for sure
when they're in between jobs.
100%.
Right?
Or, go ahead, Karen.
Especially the younger. I love that article because it says this is growing to be a popular thing amongst the younger generation.
For sure.
Right? Okay, so you retire when you can financially afford not to go to work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If you are 30 and not independently wealthy, you're just being lazy because you don't have enough money to carry you until you're 80.
Completely do it, yeah.
And it's probably easier to do because the uptick in 30-year-olds that are still living with their parents, right? So if you don't have a mortgage or a rent payment, you're just kind of freeloading a little bit. I guess you can call yourself retired.
Yeah.
Out there living your best life.
Well, I mean, extended breaks from work to recharge. I mean,
It's called
that's how they're selling it.
it's called a weekend.
I mean, take a Monday off, call it good, come back.
Yeah,
Get a
weekends are
3-day
crazy these
weekend.
days.
I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, mini retirements, and there's, okay. I feel like I've had a few of those in my life, I guess.
Yeah. E, how many mini retirements? Because you're the young buck of the group. How many have you taken so far?
I don't know. It's not like an afternoon off, though. Sometimes it's good to have an afternoon off. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But, it's different working in what we do, so we're always doing something on the weekend.
The genesis of it was probably someone was unemployed for a while, did a job interview, and the guy questioned his resume. Like, what is this gap in your resume of 2 years? And probably the first thing that came to mind was, I was on a mini retirement. And then, that actually probably helped him get the job. And then
But I love what you put there, though, because in the show notes, when we talked about, there's a group of people that are just tired of 9 to 5. They're tired of the normal way society has lived for so long. And I think they're kicking against it now. Are they kicking against it with adding value to the workplace? I don't know. There's certain people that are. There's certain people that they work better at night. There's certain people that, especially, in the field I work in with media and marketing, a lot of those guys, man, like their days are just kind of like their days, but at night from, 5 till 1, that's when they do their work because they're most inspired there. You know what I mean? So you have, people that just, that's a different way of looking at 9 to 5. But also, I mean, there's nothing like being in a group of people, the synergy, and all that. There's nothing like it, but there's also a lot of people that want to be solopreneurs. They want to do their own thing, answer to themselves, and obviously still,
You're bringing up two different things, though, because I think this whole thing spawns out of the grind.
Sure.
And years and years of just, I go to work at 9 and I get off at 5, and you just, you're surviving.
Yeah.
You're making it by, all the famous sayings, right? And that grind, I can see why people are getting tired of that after a while, and they rather just go into the mini retirement, if you will, because they're not. They're not producing anything.
Yeah.
With their life really moving forward.
Yeah. No purpose.
I know all of us probably think the same way. That we get tired, we get burnt out, we're grinding, we're going, but it doesn't necessarily feel the same because we're doing something that we know produces, external growth outside of just what we do here at the company.
Yeah.
So it's just if it's work and blah blah blah, and then you calculate. Okay, I'm going to take some time off. I'm going to do this or that or the other. Sure, you can call it recharging, all that stuff. That's all great, no problem. But for just the job, 9 to 5 grind. Yeah, I can see tons of people wanting to leave that in one way or the other. So. I mean, it makes sense where this is coming from, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, what it says here is it says, if you come back from a whole gap year, so you've taken a year off because you're on the mini retirement, right? With no new skills learned, no volunteering time done, you've not grown, you don't have a new certificate, you haven't increased your education. So if you've just taken the time off of working and you haven't bettered yourself in the process, then you bring no value when you come back into the workplace.
Yeah.
So the encouragement is,
do it right
if this is something that you can do and you're going to do, have a goal in mind.
100%.
Learn a new skill. Level yourself up. And a lot of us do that while still working. But if you're in the position where you can, step away to go do that, then do it. But don't turn it into a vacation because you're not going to grow. You're just wasting time.
And that speaks to the personal development side of that. I do think when you're growing up and you go to school, it's a little bit about personal development and more about get your grades done, get your homework in, extracurricular activities. It's not obviously you can make that claim as being personal development, but I think personal development is when you get out of that forced stuff that you have to do, and then you start to develop yourself on things that is moving towards your purpose. Either it be business, books, masterminds, classes, all that kind of stuff that is there readily available. I do think this generation, man, look, I'm down this hill. I think they're more ready to do bigger things at a younger age than I think ever before. I think they're 16, 18, 19, 21-year-olds. They want to be a part of something that's so big, that's outside of corporate America, that if they have somebody that would show them the way, I think there'll be more people on board than.
You think that's true, or they look at is it now they're looking for the the crypto craze? I'm going to put in 50 cents and make $1 million. I think that's also something that is happening with younger generation is they're seeing, massive opportunities to take advantage of something on the like crypto, for example, and or social media. Who would have ever thought that I'll go put a couple corny videos online and all of a sudden I'm making $100,000 a month off of this stuff. It's like now you got all these the thinking of what they can do. I love it. It's awesome. There's great opportunities, but the very few make it that way.
Yeah, for sure.
So are they just going to stumble and fall because now they're really not working on any skill to develop themselves? They're just trying to hit the lottery with a video or something.
Well, the perspective has changed in the last 30 or 40 years. To your point, like when you were a kid, when I was a kid, the only influencer thing that you would see was either a CEO of a major corporation, a professional athlete, maybe a politician, right? You didn't see the YouTubers, you didn't see the TikTokers, right? That didn't exist, right? So to live in an age where 10-year-olds are becoming multimillionaires has changed how young people see the world.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
If a 10-year-old can get paid showing Barbie doll videos, then I should be able to do something with the rest of the brain that I have.
Yeah, you go into any elementary school and you ask them what they want to be, and they are going to say a YouTuber or influencer.
100%.
Because that's what they see.
Yeah.
But I would say, obviously, times change, and whether it's cryptocurrency or, with what technology is doing with AI. A lot of the ways to make money, the old school ways, those are going to be solved for us by those things. So the thing that I've been telling my kids, I don't know if I shared it with you guys, is I think there's going to be more of an appreciation for the arts because everything's going to be artificially generated. Technology is going to do everything. So like human art is going to be so desirable. Yeah. So getting into, performance art and theatrical art or whatever, I think there's going to be a huge need and opportunity. Now, does that solve the world's problems? No, but it's going to be something because of just the way the world is trending and where it's going. It's going to be, what people are going to want. And there could be a demand for it.